I've spent my whole life learning to find my voice and respond when I see a community member in need. SGA works to create positive change at APU. SGA's work is purposeful. It's for the benefit of our whole community. We hope our contributions create momentum and growth. We realize what a privilege it is to represent the student body, and we do not take that lightly. At the end of the day, SGA is centered on the relationships and partnerships with administration and students. SGA's workings involve the connections with various offices around campus to communicate ideas from students. United, we work alongside each other to transform plans, ideas, and dreams into reality.
I was first attracted to SGA because of the students I saw working in it. The individuals in the Senate and the House of Representatives are the students who want to make a difference on this campus by partnering with you. We represent student voice by meeting with offices across campus, discussing issues in the student experience and concerns in the community. Every SGA member represents student needs in different ways, whether it's working with libraries for more study hours or expanding opportunities for transfer students. Working for change is a responsibility we share through our different majors, different passions and interests, and different walks of life, whether seniors, commuters, international students, leaders in other areas on campus, faculty and staff, the administration, and you.
This year, our focus was collective engagement. We invite you to engage with us and be a part of something greater, something important, and to be a part of deliberate and meaningful work. It takes the entire student body to constantly refine APU. Together, we can advance the cause of Christ as one body.
Welcome to SGA Chapel 2018. Hi, East Campus and West Campus. Thank you all so much for being here. I am Angela Pham. I'm the Vice President of Student Government this year, and unfortunately, I'm standing in for James Whitfield. He is down with the flu today, but you do get to hear me talk 4 times as much as you otherwise would have. So, we are the Student Government Association, and we exist to create positive change here at APU. Our primary goal is to represent each aspect of you, the student body, to our administration in order to improve the student experience at APU. This year, our creed was collective engagement. It was birthed out of a hope for unity and the understanding that we are more powerful together. Next year, the SGA will seek to improve different aspects of our campus as a new set of 27 student officers come together to create positive change. Today is about next year. We have the opportunity to hear from a number of candidates to speak on behalf of their vision for APU. We'll begin with 4 presidential candidates. The president of the Student Government Association works directly with the Executive Council to set direction and priorities of SGA. The president of SGA has the enormous responsibility of being fully there for multiple vital groups on campus. You, the student body, the students that lead in SGA, who you'll also be electing, the professional leaders at our university, from President John Wallace to the deans of the departments that we're all a part of, to the leadership in student life, and many other departments on campus. The president is not just a symbol or a figurehead in all of this. He or she is not just someone to look up to, although they're also that. The president is also a source of emotional, professional, and relational support for every student that asks for it. Sometimes that's the SGA team and the 5 executive members, which I am one of. But sometimes it's you, the voter and the student, that makes it possible for the president to be a president. Therefore, I'm honored to introduce 4 of my good friends who each ask for your trust, your vote, and your partnership to shape this campus through student government. These candidates are Tabitha Parker, Nick Ramos, Alexis Diaz, and Daniel Friend. So Tabitha?
To begin, I acknowledge that there are plenty of moments here at APU that compare to a winning football game. Things are going great. People are laughing, cheering, bonding, memories that we will tell after college to our friends, our family, and maybe our children or spouse. But at the same time, I acknowledge that there are moments that compare to the craving of a Chick-fil-A sandwich on a Sunday afternoon. We feel distraught, things are not going according to plan, and what seems as a last thread of hope is slipping away. In all seriousness, for some, the unfavorable moments are more common than the other, and that's where I believe SGA can make an impact. While not everyone will feel best supported 100% of the time, the existing gap between a positive and negative campus experience can be narrowed. Freshman year, many of my friends transferred out of this university because they felt like there was no place for them. Students leaving demonstrates the stronger need for student empowerment to create clubs, plan events, and gather together on campus. This is so students can not only feed their interests, but discover new ones. As SGA president, one of my main goals is of making the tools for building community and a stronger sense of self more accessible through active listening, collaborative planning with different offices, such as CSA, the Office of Women's Development, and the International Center. Not only does my vision of a better APU look towards student encouragement, but also towards refinement. As people, we constantly seek affirmation in our actions and want to stay as authentic as possible. As someone who's been involved in SGA for 2 years in the past, I have personally understood and witnessed the importance in identifying the potential in others as a reminder of their capabilities. In the role of SGA president, I plan to encourage people in their passions and affirm that there are places for them at APU, and if not, that those places can be created. This year as an RA, I have learned that caring for the person comes first, not their title. What affects the smallest, most genuine part of a person's being, if ignored, will eventually affect all parts of them. In my experience, I have been a representative and a senator, positions that take up 2/3 of the SGA team. Knowing the hardship I faced in those roles will help me empathetically lead as a president, encouraging and empowering all members to seek projects that promote positive change, such as creating a reliable grading feedback system, opportunities of engagement between commuters and on-campus residents, and a more accessible campus to students, faculty, staff, and visitors with physical and invisible disabilities. Last spring, I worked with both the Learning Enrichment Center and the CSA office to put on an event called Disability Awareness Night. Here we invited residents of the Azusa community who have disabilities to bond with students over a game of bingo. In between rounds, they shared their stories and expressed their ambitions. Afterwards, students left with more knowledge of an important group of people. If elected by the student body, I'll stay doing the most that I can, advocating for you. I'll utilize the creativity found in SGA and your ambitions for support and direction in my leadership. Without you, SGA cannot function. If elected by this, oh, just kidding. Sometimes it takes someone else to see in us what we can't. If we look at 1 Corinthians 12, it tells us that as a body with one body and many parts, we can rejoice together in successes and weep together in losses, even if they don't directly impact the other. No part is too insignificant. I'm hoping that you allow me to become your SGA president and be in pursuit of this concept for every student at APU. And who knows, having me as your SGA president may end up feeling like eating a Chick-fil-A sandwich on a Sunday afternoon. I'm Tabitha Parker, and I'm the Tab you're looking for.
What's up, y'all? How we doing this morning? Well, I'm Nick Ramos Umali. I'm a junior economics major, and if you don't know me, I wouldn't blame you. But if you might remember from last semester, there was a survey posted on Overheard at APU, and it was the one where you were able to talk freely about the Wi-Fi situation at APU. Yeah, that was actually me and some of my homies, and I think they're here today. But I was the only one who ended up getting blocked for the page for reasons I still don't really understand. But when I was thinking about what I wanted to say to you all this morning, I thought only of the people who made it possible for me to be here on the stage. First and foremost, my bad, to my mama, who raised me into the man I am today, earning her bachelor's and master's while working a full-time job and supporting a family, made my story possible. To my grandma, who came to this country seeking the dream which many of our forebears longed and fought for, she made my story possible. And to my auntie whose go-getter attitude and unfailing drive led her to become a full-fledged nurse, saving lives regularly. She made my story possible. And to my sister whose love for her I know no bounds, teaching me the responsibility to fight for those I love, made my story possible. And last but certainly not least, to my pops, who found himself embracing a child who wasn't his own and taking him in as his own and teaching him what it means to be a man. He made my story possible. And to you all, my APU family, who has embraced me with love and affection these past 3 years, you've made today possible. A day to choose among your peers who will lead us in their vision of what this campus ought to look like. A day to choose a person of the necessary experience, a forward ambition, and unquestionable integrity. I would be lying to you if I said that I were that person. In fact, I might actually be the furthest from it. But there is a person who is, and it's not God. But I'm talking about the woman you just heard pour her heart out for you. Last year, I had the pleasure of working with her in your student government. Her work ethic is unparalleled and her passion is inextinguishable. She understands what it takes to advocate on our behalf and will do so without fault. Tabitha Parker embodies everything that I wish I was, much less who I want my president to be. Who has the actual experience to know how to address our parking problems? Who has the energy to fight the seemingly unending battle for racial reconciliation on this campus? Who has committed their entire undergraduate career to serving you, although you may not have always seen her from the front lines? My own selfish ambition led me here. And to be honest, y'all deserve better than that. You all deserve someone that will call an end to the age of apathy that has infected our campus for too long. Because the opposite of love isn't hate, friends. The opposite of love is complicity and complacency in the face of injustice. Love isn't simply having an intentional conversation after seeing tragedy, then patting ourselves on the back believing we did something impactful. Love is seeing the marginalization of our international students and doing something about it so they can finally be truly integrated into our community. Love is expanding diversity training to our faculty and staff so that the student who's paying almost $200,000 for a piece of paper doesn't feel excluded or patronized in the classroom. Love is getting IMT to finally put more routers in the living area so you can get the Wi-Fi you need to connect in the place you are currently calling home. So, if you're wondering why I'm even up here if I'm telling you to vote for someone other than myself, it's because I wanted to do these things, but not for you, for myself. This would be the crowning jewel of my APU resume. It was to make my family proud and to satisfy my ego. But now I realize that doing this would be a gross injustice to all of you, regardless of whether or not you care about what happened in this election. So, this platform that I consider a privilege to use today will not be for me, but for the person who has inspired hope in me, and I hope she has inspired something in you to stop complaining about how much you think this school sucks and start doing something about it. Tabitha has loved this campus well, and I have nothing but the utmost confidence that her leadership will empower and inspire all of us to embody the change we all know needs to happen at APU. So, as I leave you today, in the words of the great Emma Watson, if not now, then when? And if not us, then who? Thank you, family. And shout out to First South. Shout out to all my homies. Shout out to everyone who made this possible. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Alexis Diaz. We all desire home, a sense of acceptance, a sense of belonging, a sense of purpose, a community. My dad is an immigrant from Mexico who was deported when I was 8, and my mom is a refugee from the Cambodian genocide in the 70s. I mention this because they both were and are searching for home, just like the rest of us. The people who came before you searched fiercely for home so that you could be sitting here today. It's a never-ending process, and the cycle repeats itself all the time. What I'm trying to get at is that many people here at APU confidently call this place their home. Many people do so reluctantly, and some of you sitting in front of me and on East Campus are even wondering if you have a seat at the table. The truth is, you do. You do belong here, and we wouldn't be the same without you. I may not understand what your experience is like, but I'm willing to sit, to listen, and to empathize in order to meet your needs. But I can't do it alone. I need you and your willingness to be open and honest about what you're experiencing, the good and the more difficult parts too. I need your vulnerability and bravery in order for wholeness and reconciliation on this campus. During my sophomore year of high school, my family and I were homeless for a period of 6 months. I felt ashamed for not having a physical home. I felt like I didn't belong anywhere. I was bouncing around from motel to motel, group home to group home, too embarrassed to share what was going on in my life out of fear of getting rejected. But when I was ready, a community came beside me and fought for wholeness, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. It was the most freeing thing, to share and allow people to step into my story with openness and willingness. Everyone deserves that kind of community here at APU. One that is quick to listen and to sacrifice. We are most transformed when we invite people into our narratives, and I wouldn't be here today if it weren't for the people that have invested in me. What would happen if we worked together to bring everyone to the table from different race, ethnicity, sexuality, ability, socioeconomic status, gender, fill in your blank? To my friends, to the people I pass by every day, to the people I've never met, and to the people I've yet to meet. You are a part of my story. You are vital to making this place a home for myself and the rest of us here at APU, whether or not you're aware of it. You are my home. With this position as my platform, I will fight hard to provide you that and to protect it. I'm going to read you part of a children's book called You're Here for a Reason, as a reminder to you, the student body, the heartbeat of APU, the reason this school can inhale and exhale, that you are important, and that this university, that this world needs your voice and your presence. The illustrations are pretty cool, so if you want to borrow it, let me know. Life can be tricky, there isn't a doubt. You'll skin your knees trying to figure it out. But life works together, the good and the bad, the silly, the awful, and happy and sad, to paint a big picture we can't always see, a picture that needs you most definitely. Remember the next time a day goes all wrong, to somebody else, you will always be strong. And that ball that you lose or that kite you let go could make someone's day, you just never know. You're here for a reason. If you think you're not, I would just say that perhaps you forgot a piece of the world that is precious and dear would surely be missing if you weren't here. If not for your smile and your laugh and your heart, this place we call home would be minus a part. Thank goodness you're here. Thank goodness times two. I just can't imagine APU without you.
Well, as should be obvious by now, my name is Daniel Friend, and I'm running for president of SGA. I suppose I should tell you why I'm running, because if I were sitting among you in your shoes, I'd certainly want to know why someone like me, a rather introverted stranger, would want this position. I feel compelled to stand up here today for one particular purpose, to demonstrate to you, in this very moment, the motto of my life, Deo Volente, a Latin phrase meaning God willing. Win or lose, I hope more than anything that the idea of this motto might shape the way you see the choices you make in life. Because let's be honest, the choices we have to make in life are pretty tough. Sure, As Christians, we've heard that we should glorify God and enjoy Him forever. We've heard that we should invest our lives in Christ. Yet that leaves us with little practical, tangible answers of how to make choices. There are many ways that we can glorify God in our lives, and so we're left with many decisions that we still have to make. We're left with many dilemmas. Dilemmas about which major to declare, or who to date, or what career path to take. Discernment in the face of such dilemmas begins with prayerful deliberation. It's in speaking to God and in speaking to others that the wisdom and folly of our ideas come to light. Counsel is very important, and it gives us the guidance to know how to proceed. Without such counsel, it would be wrong to even dare set foot on a stage like this. In any major life choice, we should also have the proper intentions. I don't think personal ambition is wrong, so long as that ambition is directed toward glorifying God. But it's good, and perhaps even better, if we want to have the intention to use our choices to serve others. I'm running for president because I believe I have the skills and character necessary to craft a vision that will unite and inspire the real difference makers of SGA. That's the entire team of SGA. The senators and executives and representatives. And I believe that together we can voice the problems we face in a manner worthy of response, whether those problems be as small as not having rollover dining points, or as large as having rising costs and tuition that make it difficult for some students even to afford APU. In planning for our futures, we should also diversify our investments in a sense. We should make plans and preparations for both things going how we hope and things going how we don't. So long then, as we're walking faithfully with God, seeking counsel, having the right intentions in our choices, and preparing for every possible outcome, there's really nothing else that we can or should do apart from making a decision, doing everything that we can to ensure the success of that choice, and with it, proclaim Deo Volente. For the moment we say Deo Volente, we're yielding the fruits of our decisions to God. Whether we succeed or fail, both our successes and our failures are really imposters, for neither belong to us. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. What really counts is the courageous faith to continue. And continuing is hard, no doubt about it. We'll have our share of ups, and we'll probably have our greater share of downs. There will be voices of discouragement, and there will be challenges that we don't even see coming. We'll wake up with a head cold knowing that we have to give a speech to 1,000 people the next day. But if we've prayed about it and we've thought about it, and we know we're making the right choice, then once all is said and done and we face the outcome of our choices, whether good or ill, what we had hoped for or not, whether we succeed or fail 1,000 times over, we always have an obligation, a responsibility, a duty to our Creator to pick ourselves up and continue making choices in our lives with our skills and with our gifts and with our passions, with our talents, with everything that we've got, with our heart, soul, and mind, so that God our King might be glorified and so that the love and righteousness of Christ our Savior might be seen in each and every one of our words and in each and every one of our deeds. Friends, what I'm about to say is cliche, but it's cliche because it's true. We can't know what tomorrow holds, but we can know who holds tomorrow. I can't know if I'll be elected to represent you, but I can know that God will use the outcome of this election for His glory and honor. And I also know this: if you want a friend in SGA who will strive as best as possible, by God's grace, to be a visionary of good and an advocate of truth, and a leader of leaders, that SGA team that can make so much more of a difference than any one person. If you want a friend like that in SGA, well, there will be such a friend on the ballot, and it will be spelled with a capital F, Deo Volente.
Thank you so much to all 4 of our presidential candidates. I know that will be a really difficult choice for all of you, but I'm also so glad that you all get that chance to vote for who you want to be president and leader of our student government next year. As I mentioned before, I'm Angela. I'm the current vice president, and so now I'll get to introduce the vice presidential candidates. But first, let me tell you a little bit about the role. Being vice president is more than stepping in when the president is sick. I also get to be a partner, a manager, an organizer, and a connector on the SGA team. Anyone's strengths can thrive in this position, but ultimately you'll want to elect someone that you believe can be a good friend and guide to each of the senators, who you as the student body also get to elect. In addition to meeting one-on-one and as a team with each of the 9 senators, the vice president also facilitates the full team weekly meeting, which, by the way, the weekly business meeting is on Wednesdays at 4:30 in the second floor of Ronald. All students are welcome. We'd love to see you there, and any of you are always welcome to come and speak or listen to what we're doing. The vice president also plays a big part in the internal leadership of student government. Not just each senator is equipped to carry out change for the student body by the vice president, but in partnership with the president and the executive council, the vice president makes sure that all the teams in student government are healthy and working together on behalf of you as a student body. This is an incredible and challenging role, as it combines personal and professional development for both the vice president and for the team members that the vice president works so closely with. Therefore, I'm enthusiastic to introduce 2 well-equipped candidates for our vice president next year, Olivia Gozal and Evelyn Gonzalez.
Two years ago, I was standing on this same stage, running as the international senator. I remember in the beginning, I was always too scared to raise my hand and share my ideas. I just felt like they were not good enough or nobody would listen to me. One time during my one-on-one with my vice president, who was then Jordan Ivey, she told me something that changed my perspective. Vice President Ivey told me, "Olivia, you are smart and you are no less than anyone. You have great heart and ideas, but no one will know unless you speak up." Speak up. That word kept repeating in my head until today, speak up. My name is Olivia Gozal. I was born and raised in Indonesia. I moved to Taiwan, and I'm now a junior studying cinematic arts. I love filming because filming is one of the many ways for me to express what I believe in. And I believe in equality, that no voice is too small, that no person is less than the other, that we can express who we are and that we are all one body in Christ. Last week, I gave out glow sticks as representation to not be afraid to express who you are. Glow sticks are bright and colorful, and that's what makes them unique. If I get elected as the vice president of the Student Government Association, my hope is to be able to bring out the uniqueness of this campus and be proud of it. Being different does not mean that you're lower than the other. Being different means that you have something new to offer. I've been discussing the book of Esther with my mentor, and I find it so intriguing that she was so loving and brave to express herself, who she was, and who her people were. It was shown through her that a small voice could bring powerful changes. I do not wish to give out many promises, but I will promise you one thing, that I will work hard. I will work hard to seek that small voice, to not only hear, but to listen, to understand why something's happened and act upon it, to mentor a group of senators, to have abundance of love inward to the community, inward to the team, outward to the community, and upward to God, and to encourage you to not be afraid to express yourself. One time when I was little, I wanted a toy truck badly. I stared at my parents hoping that they would understand, but soon after that, they gave me a Barbie. I was so upset and tried to play along, but it was just not right. I told myself I would get stuck with this funny little looking thing if I did not say anything. So I finally spoke up, and I convinced my brother to share his toy truck with me. If you think that a concern is too small, maybe it revolves around education or maybe the different values that you believe in, then speak up. Speak up. I want to challenge you to change your perspective from I, me, or you into us and we, because we are a community, and we are children of God, and that we have the power to express ourselves and who we are as unique individuals. Why am I asking you this? Because as much as we could do as an organization, we could not do it without your voices. With that being said, I want to create a safe space where speaking up and where expressing yourself is not a place of fear. And I'm only asking you for one thing, for your vote to help me make this vision becomes a reality in this community. My name is Olivia Gosal, and I hope you vote for the OG.
Good morning, my name is Evelyn Gonzalez, and I want to share the story of a 4-year-old boy named Jair. Last spring break, I had the incredible opportunity to serve on an orphanage team with Mexico Outreach. I had never been on a mission trip before, and I had no idea what to expect. But little did I know that this 1 week was going to become the most transformative week of my life. It was the first day of being at the orphanage site, and we had already been there for a couple of hours, had met all the children, and were playing with them all. I took a quick bathroom break, and on the way out of the house, I noticed this young boy sitting in the corner. I approached him because he wasn't outside playing with the rest of the kids. He was so alone, afraid, and sad. As I came closer to him, he leaned back further into the wall, and he hid his face into his knees. I asked him what his name was, and he softly spoke, Jair. I asked him his age, and he answered by holding up 4 fingers. By his body language, I could tell that he was really hurting on the inside. I continued to ask him questions in an effort to create conversation, but all I received is silence. I myself became uncomfortable and didn't know what to do. Do I stay in the midst of the uncomfortableness and the silence, or do I leave and go play with the rest of the kids? I could take the easy way out, or I could stay and let him know that he is cared for, and so I did. I began to tell him about myself, and slowly but surely he started to talk to me. He began to make eye contact with me, and then he stood up, reached his hand out to me, and asked me to go play. This boy who was hiding in the corner was now so excited to go play with the other kids. But the story doesn't end here. You see, I thought I had broken down his walls, but every day that we returned to the site, he was back to his original state, alone in the corner. And every time I stayed with him, and through this I let him know that he is worthy and loved. On the very last day of being at the orphanage site, I was so eager to get to see the kids one last time and play with them all, especially Jair. I thought for sure by now I had broken down his walls, but the last day was the toughest day. Most of it was spent with me sitting with him in the corner, trying to convince him to come out and play. What kind of neighbor would I be to leave this boy I so deeply cared about all alone and sad? So there again I was in the midst of an uncomfortable situation. I was trying to convince a secluded Jair to come out and play while also trying to focus on the other kids. You see, there are many students on our campus who feel just like Jair. They feel they don't belong, they feel unwelcome, they feel shy, they feel afraid, they feel pushed to the margins. And what kind of community would we be to preach a motto like God first, yet there are students here on this very campus who feel just like Jair? When I envision what it would look like for our campus to live out the Imago Dei, my vision is that all students would be acknowledged, heard, and welcomed. Transfer students, commuter students, international students, students of color, LGBTQ+ students. I envision a campus that is inclusive of every voice, and a campus where students can be recognized for who they are without having to meet as an unofficial club in fear of being shunned by the school. We are all the body of Christ, and we all have a voice that is valued. Our differences shouldn't divide us. Our differences unite us. Our differences are worth celebrating because we are all made in His image. Now, we could take the easy way out and ignore the Jairs of the school, or we could sit in the uncomfortable middle. When we look at the ministry of Jesus, He stands with the oppressed, the marginalized, the sinners, the widow, and the orphans. So why can't we too? I'm running to be your vice president because I believe in the power of your voice. I believe in the importance of all students being represented, welcomed, and acknowledged on this campus. I'm passionate about advocacy, I'm driven, I am ambitious, and I want to see change on this campus. I'm here to serve you, and it's our voices that work together, not just my own. I promise I will do this job with excellence. I will actively listen. I will ask you how you are hurting, and I will stand with you. I will take your concerns to the administration, but above all, I will be an advocate for all students. So I humbly ask for your vote for vice president. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. My name is Jake Van Bost, and I am the controller this year for student government. The controller serves on the executive team with the rest of the 6 members. The controller's responsibility is to reconcile the accounts accounts, manage the budget, and the controller serves on the finance committee with the president and the vice president. This committee makes decisions regarding donations and purchases. The controller pretty much does anything and everything that has to do with money in the Student Government Association. We have two candidates coming up to run for this position. First one is John Breslow, and the second one is Do-Han Choi. Thank you.
Good morning, my fellow Cougs. My name is John Breslow, and I had the distinct privilege of running for your SGA controller. Thank you for the chance to stand before you today to share a glimpse of my vision for how I, as your hopeful controller, can aid SGA in its mission to make APU a better place for its students. Of the many endearing attributes on campus that enrich the lives of students, APU's wide array of clubs and organizations stands out as one that has an immense impact. As controller, I would make it my personal mission to see that SGA lend a helping hand as much as it can to allow those opportunities to continue to flourish. To Pomai and Ben in PIO, to Jake and Ellie in FCA, to Ryan in BSA, to Gian in VFO, to Bianca in Emoja, to Cecilia and Tiffany in Enactus, to my roommate Jordan in robotics, to Donovan in sociology, to Chad, Jay, Danielle, and Miku in club volleyball, and to those whose clubs and organizations were not mentioned, I'm standing here before you today to support you in SGA. Not only has my experience as a student been enriched through clubs and organizations, but the experience of my friends and their friends have been as well. I'm running to bolster that ripple effect on our campus. I'm running to see that SGA does justice by the student body we have been chosen to represent. I'm running to ensure that SGA is fiscally responsible, yet also generous with the resources that we have been provided. I'm running to make certain that students are made aware of the resources that are available to them. Most importantly, I'm running to do my part in making APU a place I can take pride in calling my home. In closing, I'd like to quote Drake. They just don't want to take my money. They don't want me to give you nothing. They don't want you to have nothing. But I've made plans with you, and I won't let them fall through. Like controller. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Do-Han Choi, and I'm the controller candidate for next year. I am sure many of us are familiar with this parable where Jesus tells us the kingdom of heaven is like a treasure hidden in the field. A few lines down, he also tells us those who have been trained for the kingdom of heaven is like a master of a household who brings out his treasure for others. I bring up this parable not to claim that I am a Christ-like person that has been trained for the kingdom of heaven, nor a rightful person for this position, but rather to tell you about the piece of heaven or the treasure that I have found on this campus and how I look to bring it out to you. But first, I have a confession to make. Even when I was applying for the candidate position, for this position, I was drowning in fears and I was filled with doubts. Not because I was running against someone or because of the fact that I have never taken public communication class to prepare for these occasions. But I was scared that my effort in trying to make a positive change may not end up being so much positive after all. However, as I was preparing this speech and looking back at my first semester, I noticed one thing. From witnessing the iChapel team giving their best welcome to the incoming student during the international orientation, from the students and faculty filling of the lobby of Weldon Hall for a BSA meeting after the tragic incident early on in the school year, and of course, the numbers of hours in business meeting in SGA, I am convinced that this campus is packed with various difference makers that will work alongside of each other. So my friends, what I will do is to carry on my good intentions and put my best effort into creating a culture and opportunities within and out of SGA, where you desire to speak and act to make a positive change. And so as a whole, we can be more intentional and engaged as a body of Christ in and outside of campus, trying to preserve a piece of heaven that I have witnessed here at APU. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Chanyang Kim, and I'm the current international senator. As a senator, I meet with different offices on campus to address the concerns of the students that I am representing. So in my case, I'll be international students. The role of a senator is to listen and to communicate and to find creative solutions to address those concerns of the students. So here is a video introduction of the candidates who are running for senator positions for this year. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Carissa Enns, and I'm a freshman at Azusa Pacific University, and this upcoming year I am running to be a university senator. And the reason I'm running is because I truly believe that it is so important for students to feel safe in a learning environment, and I feel that SGA is a major proponent of that, of making sure that students can learn in a safe and godly environment.
Hi, my name is Max Wilson. I'm a freshman here at APU, and I am running to be your multicultural senator. And the reason I want to be your multicultural senator is because I grew up from a family that's half black and half white. And even though we have our differences culturally and racially, we found our unity in Jesus. And I really want to see that happen here at Azusa Pacific University. And as a MEL scholar, as a person, and as potentially your multicultural senator, I want to make sure that every community is seen and represented and heard on this campus.
Hello everyone, my name is Brianna DeBabne, and I'm running to be your next transfer senator. As a transfer student myself, I understand both the excitement and confusion that comes along with being a transfer student. I would love to create a strong environment where transfers can feel known, where they can know how to get plugged in and hit the ground running, and most importantly, where they can confidently call Azusa Pacific their home. So vote for me, Brianna DeBabne, to be your next transfer senator.
Hi, my name is Casey, and I'm currently a sophomore. I'm running for the international senator position because as an international student who knows what it feels like to be far away from home, I want to make other students, particularly the international students, to feel more at home in the APU campus. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Myra Nunez, and I'm currently a junior social work student. I'm running for the position of university senator, and the reason why I'm running for this position is to help include the voices of all students into the development of our campus. I hope to advocate for all the different student body groups here on campus and be able to actively listen to your conversations and to your different perspectives.
Hi, I'm Rachel Corrales. I'm a freshman and I'm running for your 2018-2019 commuter senator. As a commuter, I am all too familiar with the struggles of commuter life, and I intend to best address and adhere to the needs of my fellow commuters.
Hi guys, my name is Hannah Hernandez and I'm a freshman running for the Azusa Senator position. Being a current member of SGA, I hope to continue my passion of student advocacy into the next year. Voting for Hannah Hernandez guarantees your voice a chance to be heard throughout the whole campus.
Hi, my name is Darinka Vargas and I'm running for the Azusa Senator position. I am a sophomore. I grew up here within the city of Azusa, and I would love to see my home be more involved with this community.
Hello again. This is the last time you have to hear me speak. So just to wrap it up, the speakers that you heard, the vice president, controller, and presidential candidates, you will have the opportunity to vote for them today, tomorrow, and Wednesday. And then the ballot will close at 5 p.m. So the way that you vote is you open up your phone, not right now. There's an email in there. There will be an email this morning. And then you get to choose on that Google form who you vote for. So you'll get to see the faces of the candidates who just here spoke, and you will can read their bios there as well. When you walk out of these doors on both East and West Campus, there are donuts and coffee that we would like to bless you with in return for your vote. And please do vote today because the ballot will close in just 2 days and the week will go quickly. After spring break, you'll come back and you'll get another email from us, and that will be your email to your ballot to vote for your senator candidates. As you saw, every single one of these positions is so vital to how you experience campus next year. So whether you are a first-year student or a senior, all of you will have an opportunity to vote, and we value each and every single one of your voices. Now, if no single candidate in the executive election this week wins 51% of the vote, then on Thursday you will get another email, which will be for the runoff vote for the presidential candidates. So as you saw, you have 4 to choose from now, and then on Thursday you'll have the final 2. So please make sure to pay attention to all 3 of those emails, and you'll get to see the results after spring break. Thank you so much for your time this morning. Have a blessed day.